We're here again with a Paladin Best in Slot gear video discussion thing, this time AQ40 edition. If you're looking for goodies out of AQ40, or maybe you're looking to prepare your Paladin for naxxramas, this is the place to look. Obviously there are ideal pieces in each slot, typically. We'll be going over more than just the absolute bis piece, because you're probably not going to get the absolute bis piece, especially if you have luck like I do. Okay, we'll just start with the helmet, and this is the best example of what I just said. In my opinion, the best helmet for a paladin, the Holy Paladin that is the Crystal Adorned Crown from Azurgos. Well, if your guild isn't killing world bosses, you're probably not going to get that, and you're probably not going to get the Deviate Growth Cap. Although that's arguably, those are the best in slot pieces for the helmet. I would think most people should aim for Don Rigoberto's from Oro. Now, if you're struggling like me, it may be a while before you kill Oro, and it may be a while before you see that drop, and it'll probably be even longer before you get the roll on it, because you're in a loot council guild and they don't appreciate you. Anyways, that's what I would think is the most achievable best in slot piece for Phase 5. You could still go with the blue Zillion headdress, but it's blue and it's not a purple, so we're not going to talk about it. Now, for your next slot, you actually have quite a few options. In my and most people's opinion, I think you should go for the Amulet of the Fallen God from the Cthulhu drop quest. Good luck with that, because it's highly contested, and you're probably going to be rolling against every healer and probably everybody else in your raid. A good alternative to that, believe it or not, is still Jindo's Evil Eye from Zul'Gurub. Failing that, you could have the Amulet of the Shifting Sands from the Osirian quest, Osirian, whatever. That's probably what you should go for if you don't have Jindo's Evil Eye at this point, because it's a guaranteed drop. You can, ask really nicely to soft reserve it, whatever. And Angelista's Charm is also a good choice, although I do think I prefer the other three options against it. But the extra stamina and intellect can help on longer fights like Twin Imps, Cthulhu, whatever, depending on how fast your guild kills them. Okay, Wild Growth Spalders is still your best bet for shoulders. I hope you have those. You're probably sick of MC. I mean, I'd never want to set foot back in MC ever again. So I hope you have those. If you don't, you can get the fancy ternary mantle. Not as good as Wild Growth Pauldrons, in my opinion, but it is dropped by the Silhouetted Royalty / Bug Trio in AQ40. Pretty easy boss. Most guilds are going to be able to down those. You may have some competition for this piece, but those are basically the only great options you have. So hopefully you've gotten lucky and gotten Wild Growth. Anyways, for your cloak, best in slot is Cloak of Clarity from Cthulhu. Again, it's going to be highly contested. A good alternative, which you probably already have, is the Hide of the Wild, easily crafted, semi-cheap at this point in Classic WoW. Another option is Shroud of Pure Thought. I think Shroud may be better on really long fights, but in general, I think people should just go for the Hide of the Wild and call it a day. If you get Cloak of Clarity, great. Good luck with that. Gloves. Peacekeeper Gauntlets are probably what you want to aim for. Failing that, Gloves of the Messiah, Waspod Gauntlets, that kind of thing. But in my opinion, Peacekeeper Gauntlets are your best bet. Wrists, Bracelets of Royal Redemption from the Twin Emperors. Probably going to be a highly contested piece. I do think it's the best bet. Failing that, you can go with the Burrower Bracers from Oro. I don't actually think they're better than the Loomguard arm braces, but you could probably already have from Scalo. You probably do have this. So just use the Loomguards until you get the bracelets from Twin Imps and call it a day. Chest, you'll love it. You've been wearing this turquoise robe since you dinged 60 probably, and now you get to wear an even worse looking turquoise robe. It is really nice. Robes of the Guardian Saint. Pretty much, in my opinion, inarguably the best chest piece for a paladin. Don't even talk to me about the Robes of Volatile Power. Don't want to hear about it. That's just me. You think you want raw healing at this point in your life? You can make up for mana with consumes, raid buffs, world buffs, I mean, whatever. Felling Robes of Guardian Saint, you go with the Robes of Exalted Steel, you're going to wear them forever, just get used to it. Belt, Grasp of the Old God from Cthulhu, marginal upgrade over the Corehound belt. If you don't have a Corehound belt, well, you probably should, but if you don't, you could do the Regenerating Belt of Vecnalash, whatever. I mean, I would just stick with the Corehound belt until the Grasp drop, but that's just me. Legs, Empowered Leggings are probably your best in slot. Again, highly contested piece. Salamander Scale Pants from MC, not as good in my opinion, but decent alternative. Also, you got the, oh god, I forgot what it's called. Leg Plates of Blazing Light. There you go. Shouldn't be too hard to get this, being as it's a healing plate piece, depending on how many paladins you've got, I guess. I wouldn't feel bad wearing these at all. I do think the aforementioned pants are better, but you know, you can get what you get, right? Boots. Boots of Pure Thought. Again, highly contested, as is could be said about every piece of gear here. Really, there's not a lot of other options besides the Boots of Pure Thought. You could get these Snowblind shoes, World Boss drop. That's probably not practical for most guilds. There are blue dungeon 5-man options. They're not on the same level as yeah, Boots of Pure Thought. That's what we're talking about. Sorry, my ADD's kicking in, I guess. Okay, rings. Hard to get. You could go with the blue ZG pieces. I don't think that's great. Fordring Seal, still usable. It's easy to get. Hopefully you have a Cauterizing Band. Obviously those are not like what you want to be wearing. The rings you want to be wearing are the Pure Elementium Band from the Farian and Ring of the Martyr from Princess Huhuran. That's your best in slot, in my opinion, and it's going to probably take a lot of grinding to get there, unless you're a better healer than I am, and you know some people you can call some favors in for. Trinkets. This is probably the most sought after healing item, I guess. Rejuvenating Gem? Yeah, I would say this is probably the most contested healing item on this list. Good luck getting it. Trinkets, again. Scrolls of Binding Light is an option for the other slot. You're never going to get Rejuvenating Gem if you do have it, but your second slots you can kind of rotate in and out other options as you see fit. Scrolls of Binding Lights. Lord, I have lost my list. This is not appropriate at all. I'm so sorry. Anyways, yeah, Trinkets. Hibernation Crystal. Best in slot, arguably, from a world boss again. Probably not practical. Zenith Hero Charm, Scarab Brooch. You could even still be wearing a Briarwood Reed. I mean, I do that. Don't tell anybody, though. But yeah, Rejuvenating Gem, and then your other slot you kind of just rotate it out depending on what you want to do. Librams. You know, I'm real happy to not have a blank slot here anymore. Say goodbye to the Egan's Blaster. We've missed him. Libram of Divinity for your Flash of Light goodness. There's not really any reason not to have this. The other Librams, Libram of Grace, Libram of Truth, Libram of Hope, you know, grind those out on your own time. But you're probably going to just stick to Libram of Divinity for Flash of Light spamming more often than not. But there's no reason not to have the others. There may be a time that, like, hey, you're a cleanse bot or whatever. Probably not. Weapons. Cool name. Sharpened Silithid Femur is an option. Locomere. If you've got that, congrats. Still really good. We know it. Why did I say the Rejuvenating Gem was like the hotly contested item? It's not. Obviously, you know what you're here for. Scepter of the False Prophet from Big Boy Cthulhu. Big old 187 healing. Kind of makes Locomere look kind of just, it's just not even comparable at all. You know, not long ago it was like, hey, I would love a Locomere. Now it's like, well, I would rather have a Scepter of the False Prophet. And if you're like me, you just got your Claw of Chromagus and you're kind of feeling like, well, I don't know if I should be happy or not. I just upgraded my Aura Stone Hammer and I've got, you know, it's a Claw. It's twice as good, basically. but it's no Scepter of the False Prophet. So, you know, if you get that, congrats, you win healing awards of Classic until Nax comes out. Enjoy. Offhand, I mean, if you're like me, you want to wear a shield because, you know, shields are cool. Sorcerer's Might is still probably your best offhand, best in slot, arguably. On fights with a lot of ads and so on, crazy aggro, trash fights, whatever, you know, Worm Skull Blocker or Red Dragon Skull Protector could come in handy. Really, Sorcerer's Might and even Leave the Life Giver still is probably where you want to be. But you can make an excuse to wear a shield. I won't tell anybody. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers the main slots. Now, most important in Classic, of course, you know this. You don't need me to tell you, but I'm going to say it just to pad out the video length. You need Consumes. You know what Consumes you need? Nightfin Soup, Brilliant Mana Oil, Mage Blood Potions, Major Mana Potions, and Dark Runes / Demonic Runes. And if you're a big boy, you can go with the Flask of Distilled Wisdom. I'm not a big boy. I don't have that gold because I just raid log. In addition to that, of course, you have to have your world buffs. You don't need me to list those. You see that icon every day. Enchants, you know what you need. Helm, Legs, and Shoulder enchants from ZG. Best in slot enchants there. Gloves, fork out for the 30 healing. You'll notice it, it's great. Chest, you need 4 stats, not 3 stats. Weapon, obviously 55 healing. That's like half of an extra item itself. Boots, minor speed, don't sleep on that. It's very noticeable. You know, you can run around Orgrimmar or whatever as a paladin as your boots of speed, and they'll never catch you, like I do. Shield, if you're using one, probably doesn't matter, but you might as well enchant it with 7 stamina. Cloak, kind of discussion here, I guess. You could have the all resist, which really isn't going to add up to anything. You could have the big boy nature resist here. It depends on the content you're doing, right? Arguably subtlety, the 2% threat reduction. I think a lot of people like that. I don't really know how I feel about it, because if you're pulling healing aggro, it's probably better to be on you as a paladin as it is on a priest or a druid. And if you're pulling healing threat, the guy under you is probably a healer as well. So I guess that's just kind of up to taste what you want to go with here and what your guild's struggling with and where you're at. Are you farming it or whatever, right? Anyways, that's pretty much covered everything, I think.